Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will study chapter 1 power and roots, that means exponent. In our last lecture, in lecture 1, we have studied this same chapter from we have studied in our last lecture we have studied same chapter from example 1 to 14. So today we will continue from example 15. So in example 15 you can see the question is asking us to solve the following equation. So question is asking you to solve this equation. So let us solve it. Right, so this is the equation, right? So let us solve it. So when you have any equation like this, first you see that here you have x to the power 1 by 3 and here also you have x to the power 1 by 3. So when you have something like that, what you can do, you can assume that x to the power 3 is m. So we have m here. So we have m here is equal, not is equal to, plus, and here we can write it like 8 by m minus 8 is equal to 0. So that means here we are assuming that x to the power 1 by 3 is equal to m. So let us give a side note. So that you do not get confused. Side note is not very important in exam. In exam side note is not important, but to help you understand so that you don't get confused, I am writing side note. So here we are assuming that x to the power 1 by 3, here we are assuming that x to the power 1 by 3 is equal to m, so that the equation gets simplified, equation get a better picture. Right, so now here we will do addition and subtraction. So here the LCM is m. Here LCM is m. So here we get 2m square, 2m square, because these m and these m, when we do LCM, least common multiple, or in Bengali we call it Loshagu. So here the LCM or Loshagu is m. So when we multiply these one and these one, 2m, so we get 2m square plus 8 minus 8m to 0. Right, so now what we have, so now we can do cross multiplications. That means we can multiply m with 0. Cross multiplication, in Bangla we call it arari gun. Right, so if we multiply m with 0, the answer is we get 0. So that means this one will be equal to 0. Now let us rearrange it. We can, at the same time we can take common 2. So what we get here, we get m square. If you get 2 common, we get m square here, and then minus, let us rearrange also. We are taking common, at the same time we are rearranging it so that it gets better picture. So here first we will take common from here. So if we take common 2 here, we get 4m. We get 4m. 4m, and then we will write these one. Then we will write these one. So plus 8. If we take 2 common, we get 4 here. Now, as you can see, here 2 is there. So if you just keep this one this side, and this side we will have 0 by 2, because if you move this 2 is in multiplication, this 2 is in multiplication with this one. So if you move these 2 to right hand side, in that case it will get divided by, it will get that means it will get in the denominator, it will move into the denominator. So that means we will have 0 divided by 2, and 0 divided by 2 is also 0. Is equal to 0. So now, you know, I'm showing you all possible breakdown, so that since this is a very preliminary course of your mathematics in your bachelor level, that's why I am showing you every possible breakdown. But in exam, when you will be expert, in that case, in exam you don't need to show all possible breakdown. You can go for some shortcut. Right. So now what we have here. So here we can see that we can write it like this way. Can I write it like this way? And this one can be written as this. So we can write it like this way. So we can write it like this way. So that means here 2 multiplied by m, here 2 multiplied by m multiplied by 2, we get 4m back. So that means we can write it like this way. So now you can see this can be written as a minus b. This one resembles to a minus b whole square formula. A square, we can see that this one is like a square minus 2ab plus b square. So we can write it like m minus 2 m minus m m minus 2 whole square, m minus 2 whole square is equal to 0, right? So m minus 2 whole square is equal to 0. So we get m minus 2 is equal to 0, right? So now we can write like m is equal to 2, because if you move 2 on the right hand side, first of all, see here, m minus 2 square is equal to 0. So if you take square root of 0, it's still 0. So that means we can write like m minus 2 is equal to 0. So now if you move this minus 2 to the right hand side, you get 2 here. So m is equal to 2. That's not the answer, because the question was asking us to find out the value of x, not m. So this was the value of m. So x to the power 1 by 3, here x to the power 1 by 3, x to the power 1 by 3 is equal to 2. So x to the power 1 by 3 is equal to 2. So that means now, as I said in my last class, if you have noticed, in my last class I told you that if you want to find the value of x, except x, everything else should be moved to right hand side. So that means I'm saying again, if you want to find the value of x, you should have only x on your left hand side and all other things should be moved to right hand side. So now that means we have to move the power 1 by 3. We have to move the power 1 by 3 to right hand side, right? So if you move the power 1 by 3 to right hand side, what we will get? We will get, sorry. So as I said in my last class, if you move power from left hand side to right hand side, power moves as power. Power always move as power, but it will be reversed. It will be reversed. So that means the 3 will be in the numerator and 1 will be in the denominator. So that means I'm saying again, if you move power from left hand side to right hand side, in that case power always move as power, but you will get a reverse of the power. That means inverse of the power. So that means the whatever you have in the denominator, it will be in the numerator, and the numerator value will go into the denominator. So like that way, it was 1 by 3, now we get 3 by 1. So that means, as I said in my last class, if you have 1 in the denominator, you don't need to write it. So you can write it like 2 power 3. So 2 power 3 is 8. So that is the answer of x. So that means the value of x is 8. So I hope you have understood this one. So now let us solve the next one. Example 16. Example 16. Solve for x. Solve for x. That means you need to find the value of x. You need to find the value for x. You need to find the value of x. So let us solve it. So this is the equation. This is the equation. Right. So as you can see, if you first of all you need to have a holistic picture of the problem. If you see, here we have 3, and again here we have 9, and you know that 3 is a, you know that 9 is a multiple of 3. 9 is a multiple of 3, or that 3 is a common factor. 3 is a common factor of 9. That means I'm saying in Bangla now. That means if you can see 9, if you break 9, you will get 3 square. You will get 3 square. That means 3 is there. Then again, if you break 27, you will get 3 to the power 3. That means here also 3 is there. That means 27 is a multiple of 3, or 3 is a factor of 27. And again, if you break 81, you can write it like 3 to the power 4, which means 81 is a multiple of 3, or in other way we can tell 3 is a factor of 81. So if you have problem like this, it's always better you should write it in the common. You should convert the full problem into the common factor, the smallest possible factor, right? So here we can write it like so this one can be written as, this one can be written as 3 square. This one can be written as 3 square, and then again this one can be written as 3 power 3. This one can be 27. 27 can be written as 3 power cube, 3 power 3. Then again this one can be written as 3 power 4. That means 81. You can break 81 and write it like 3 power 4. 3 power 4. So now, as you can see here, in our last class we have studied that the rule of exponent dictates that if you have a bracket, and if you have a power inside the bracket, and also if you have a power outside the bracket, and in that case what we will have is this power will get multiplied by this power. This power will get multiplied by this power. That's the rule. So we can write it like so. Now you pay attention, you can see these two will get multiplied by 4x minus 2. These two will get multiplied by 4x minus 2. These two will get multiplied by 4x minus 2. So similarly here also we will have so here we will have like these. So that means these 3 will get multiplied by 3x minus 8. These 3 will get multiplied by 3x minus 8. Similarly here what we will have, we will have this one, because this 4 is the power inside the bracket, and outside the bracket we have another power minus 3x. So this 4 and minus 3x will get multiplied. So what we will have now, in the exam, I'm saying again, in the exam, when you will after 1 month you will become expert in power and exponent and all those things. So in the exam you don't need to write all these details. You can go for shortcut if you are expert. So now what we will have here, so now as you can see, now what we will do, we will multiply this we will multiply 4x minus 2 by 2. So what we have, 8x, we will have 8x minus 4. So here if you multiply 4x minus 2 by 2, you will get 8x minus 4. And similarly here what we will get, 9x minus 24, and here what we will get, minus 12x. So we will get it like that. Okay, now what we will have, so now pay attention. In our last class we have studied that if the bases are same, in that case what we will have. So now you can see, before we do some simplification, before we go further, what we can do, we can do cross multiplication. Right? We can multiply these one, we can multiply the cross multiplication. In Bengali we call it arari gunon. So we can multiply these one with these one. Okay, so let's do it. So let's do it. this is multiplication sign, not x. Pay attention, this is not multiplication, this is not this is not x, this is multiplication sign, this is multiplication sign, not x. Okay, don't get confused. You can write it like dot as well. You can write it like dot as well. Maybe I will use dot, much better. You don't get confused. Maybe I will write it like dot so that you don't get confused. Okay, so I will write it like this way. Okay, right. Okay, so now, so that means if you do cross multiplication, we will get like this. So if you do cross multiplication, this one will be multiplied by these two, right? And we will get something like that. So what we will have, 3 power 5x. So as I said before in my last class, when you have same base and when you are doing multiplication, when you have same base but different power, when you have same base but different power, and if you are doing multiplication, only if you are doing multiplication, in that case excuse me, I'm saying again, if you have same base, see here base is 3, here also base 3, here also base 3, and we are doing multiplication, and when we are doing multiplication, in such case powers will be added together. So powers will be added together. So we have 5x plus 8x minus 4, and then this one, so that means plus bracket minus 12x. So you don't need to write it like that way. So here all, so that means this one will be added with this one, similarly will be added with this one, right? So now as you can see, here we have plus and here we have minus, so you can write directly minus. So now what we will have here, is this one, right? So now, so here what we have, 3 power 5x plus 8x is 13x, minus 12x is x, minus 4, and here we have this one. Now a new rule for you, a new rule to learn. So always remember, when you have base, when the bases are same in the left hand side and the right hand side, when the bases are same in the left hand side and the right hand side, but powers are different, in such case, see here base is in the right hand side, we have base 3, in the left hand side also we have base 3, in the left hand side also we have base 3. In such case powers will be equal to each other. That means x minus 4, sorry, in such case x minus 4 is equal to 9x minus 24. So x minus 4 is equal to 9x minus 24. Okay, so right, so now we'll do just we'll do just some simplification. Okay, 24, if you bring this 24, on left hand side, it will be plus, sign will change. So 24 minus 4 is equal to 9x minus x. So what we will have, 24 minus 4 is equal to 9x minus x. So we have 20. So let me rearrange it now. So 9x minus x, let me write it on left hand side. 9x minus x, we have 8x is equal to 24 minus 4. Excuse me. 24 minus 4 is equal to 20. So 9x minus x is 8x. 24 minus 4 is equal to 20. So what we will have, x is equal to 20 divided by 8. 20 divided by 8, which is what? Which is 2.5. 2.5. Right. So that's the answer of x. So that's the solution of x. That means the value of x is 2.5. Value of x is 2.5. Let me revise it, that if I have make any mistake or not, always do some revision. Right. So this one is correct. This one is correct. This one is also correct. Right. So what we will have, 8x minus 4, this is correct. This one, okay, right, correct. So here what we have, yes, right, 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 okay. So yes, it's correct. Right, it's correct, it's fully correct. So always do some practice, always make a practice of doing revision immediately after you solve a problem. There is no point of revision, there is no point of revising at the end of exam. Okay, always do some revision, always spend 1 minute or 20 or 30 seconds to do some revision immediately after you finish a problem. Okay, so that's the answer of x. The answer of x is 2.5. So now let us solve question number 17. Now let us solve question number 17. So what this question is saying, solve for x similarly. So you need to find the value of x solving this equation. So now let us solve it. So now what we have here. So as I said in my last class, if you followed my last lecture, you have seen that root over 3 can be written as 3 power, root over 3 can be written as 3 power half, like this. So that means root over 3, this is a square root, so that means square root can be written as power half. Square root can be written as power half. So we got this one. This is a very easy problem. Now as you can see, we have a power inside the bracket. So we have a power inside the bracket and we have a power outside the bracket. So in such case, as I said before, both the power will get multiplied by each other. So both the power will get multiplied by each other, like this. So it will be like this. So that means this power inside the bracket will get multiplied by the power outside the bracket. So like this way. So now what we will do, so as you can see now here also in the right hand side also we have base 3, in the left hand side also we have base 3. As I said in my previous problem, if you have something like that, if bases are same in the left hand side and right hand side, in such case what we will have is the powers will be same. Power in the left hand side will be equal to power in the right hand side. So power in the left hand side will be equal to power of the right hand side. So like this way. So this one, twice x plus 1 will be equal to half into x plus 3. So these x plus 3, there is nothing in the denominator. For these x plus 3, there is nothing in the denominator. So that means there is 1 there. So that means by default this one should be considered as as a element of numerator. So that means by default you should consider that this one is in numerator. So this one should always, so that means this one should get multiplied by 1. This one should get multiplied by 1. So that means it will be as it is. So now we will move it here. We'll move it here. So now what we will do is simple. It's a secondary level algebra, cross multiplication. So this, we will multiply these two with twice x plus 1. So if you multiply, what we will get 4x, sorry, we will get 4x, plus 2, we will get 4x plus 2 is equal to x plus 3 is equal to x plus 3 is equal to x plus 3. Now what we will get, so 4x minus x will be equal to 3 minus 2. So 4x minus x will be equal to 3 minus 2. So that means 3x will be equal to 1. So that means x is equal to 1 by 3. 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 So let us revise this. That's the answer of x. So let us revise if I have written correctly or not. Yes. Yes, correct. Fully correct. So that's the value of x. So solution of x. So x, the value of x is 1 by 3. So now let us solve this one. What will be the value of these? Okay, right. So this one can be written as how should I write it? Let me write it like this. So this is not an x, this is not an x, this is multiplication sign. This is not an x, this is multiplication sign. So 3 multiplied by 100, we can write it like this way. So 300, we can break it like 3 multiplied by 100 and like this way. Okay, as good enough. All right. And then also we can break these one like, can we write it like 2? Can we write it like, all right, can we write it like 4 plus 1? 4 plus 1. So we can write it like 4 plus 1. This 5 can be we can break it like 4 plus 1. We can break it like 4 plus 1, right? All right. Then so now what we will have here, so as you can see, we have a bracket here, and on top of bracket we have a power. So that means this power will be applicable, this power will be applicable to 3, and also this power will be applicable to 100. This power will also be applicable to 100. So now we will distribute this power to each of the element inside the bracket. So we will distribute it. Right, it's like that. right? Okay, like that. So as you can see now, this power half has been equally distributed to all the elements inside the bracket, right? Right, okay. So now what we have here, what we can do, so right, so here we can write it like can we write it like this? So see here we have this one 4 plus 1 divided by 2, so we can write it like 4 by 2 plus 1 by 2. That means we are splitting, we are dividing this 4 by 2 first, and then we will have a plus, then we will have a plus, and then 1 by 2, because if you here also in the denominator we have 2, here also in the denominator we have 2. That means if you take LCM, in Bangla we call it Loshagu. If you take Loshagu or LCM, least common multiple, in that case 4 we will have 4 plus 1 in the numerator. So we can break it like that. Now what we will do, so pay attention. This here we have 100 power half, 100 power half. So we can write it like this. We can write it like this one is, it can be written as this one can be written as this one can be written as this. Okay, this one can be written as this. Pay attention. So we have 100 here, so 100 can be written as 10 square. 100 can be written as 10 square. So 100 can be written as 10 square, and we had a power outside, and like that everything is same except this one. Now 4 by 2 can be written as 2. 4 by 2, if you cancel this one, if you cancel 4 with 2, cancel out, you will get 2 here. Okay, so 2 plus half, right? Right, okay, so now as you can see here, this one we can see here we have a power inside the bracket, and also we have a power outside the bracket. So that means this power will get multiplied by power inside the bracket. So this power and this power will get multiplied. So that means we can write it like 2 multiplied by, so since we have used this one as multiplication sign, we should continue it like that. So we will have 1 by 2. So that means like this. So that means here these 2 will get multiplied by half. So that means these 2 will get multiplied by half. So you can see 2 and 2, these two and these 2 will get cancel each other out. So we will have only 1, 10 power 1. So we will have only 10 power 1. We will have 10 power 1, and as you know, power 1, when you have only power 1, you don't need to write it. So this is like only 10. This is like only 10 here. Alright. So now this one, what we will do, this one can be written as like this. So this one can be written as this. So this one can be written as this. Why? Because you can see here also base 3, here also base 3, and we are doing multiplication. We are doing multiplication, and when we do multiplication and bases are same, powers will be added together. That means we will have 2 plus, we will have 3 power 2 plus half, 2 power half, 3 power 2 plus half. So this is the case. This is the same. We will get it like that. So that means we can break it like that. So now what we will have, so now pay attention, this 10, we can multiply this 10 with this 5, so we will get 50 here. We will get 50 here. So 50 multiplied by 3 to the power half minus 3 to the power half, and in the denominator we have like this. Okay, so 3 square can be written as 9. 3 square can be written as 9. Right, so now what we will have, so we will take here also we have 3 to the power half, here also we have 3 to the power half. So 3 to the power half we can take common between the both term. So we can take common 3 to the power half. So now this will be like this. So if you take 3 to the power half common, we will have only 50 for the first term. We will have only 50 for the first term. We will have only 50 from the first term. And from the second term, if we take this one common, we will have only 1 there. We will have only 1 there. Only 1. Right? Similarly, if you take this one common, if you take this one common, if you take this one 3 to the power half common, if you take these 3 to the power half common, we will have 40 only from the first term, and then we will have a plus, and then since we have taken these one common, we will have only 9 there. We will have only 9 there. Right, so now 50 minus 1 is 49, and then again this one is also 40 plus 9 is 49. So you can see, this one cancels out, this one cancels out, so we have only 1. Answer is 1. So if you simplify this one, you can see the problem was so clumsy like this, right? It looks so odd, it looks so ugly. The initial problem looked so ugly, so complex, but if you simplify it step by step, if you simplify a complex problem step by step, see, it's only 1. You get a so simple answer if you simplify it. After simplification, after you simplify it, you get a so simple answer which is only 1. Right? So let us revise it. See if I have written correctly or not. Right? It's okay. Yes. Right. So what we will have? Yes. 10. Yes. Yes, everything is correct. Everything is correct. So answer 1 is correct. Right. So that's the end of this problem. Now let us solve. Let us solve this one. So here what we have. Right, so this one can be left like this. This one can be written as 5 multiplied by 2. Can we write it like that? This 10, I am breaking this 10, I am breaking this 10 as 5 multiplied by 2, right? And then this one be left as it is. So now this one. As you can see, we have a power inside the bracket which is -1 and power outside the bracket which is -1. So as I said before, power inside the bracket will get power outside the bracket will get multiplied by power inside the bracket. So that means this -1 and -1 will get multiplied. So if you multiply -1 with -1, we get +1. We get +1. So we get +1. So as I said before, +1 or power 1, you don't need to write it. You can just ignore it. So we have like this. We have this one. Okay. So now in the next step, what we will do. So as you can see here, as I said before, if you have a power over a bracket, you can distribute that power to all the elements inside the bracket. So if the elements inside the bracket are in multiplication only, okay, so that means we will have here 4 and like this. So we will have like this. Okay, right. So now as you can see, we have 5 power 4 and then we have also 5 power 2. So that means same base. So when you have the same base and you are doing multiplication, in that case powers will be added together. So 4 plus 2 is equal to 6. We will have 5 power 6 here. We will have 5 power 6 here and like this. So now what we will do. So as you can see now here, we have 3 square here. That means 3 multiplied by 3. And here we have only 1 3. So that means if you cancel out, if you cancel this one with this one, if you apply process of cancellation with this one and this one, we will have only 3 in the numerator, right? So this one will be cancelled out, right? So now we will do this one. Here we have 5 power 6 and here we have 5 power 5. So that means if you apply process of cancellation, this one will be cancelled out and then we will have only 5 here, because we have here 5 power 6 and here we have 5 power 6 and here we have 5 power 5. That means here we have 5 multiplied by 5, like that way, 5 numbers of 5, and here we have 6 numbers of 5 in multiplication. So if you apply process of cancellation, we will have only 5 power 1 there. We will have only 5 power 1 here. So as I said before, power 1 you don't need to write. Now this one, we have 2 power 4 and we have 2 power 3. So in the numerator, this one will be cancelled out. In the numerator, we will have only 2 power 1. As I said before, power 2 power 1, if you have power 1, you can just ignore it. You can just ignore it. So that means we will have only 3 power 5. That means 15 multiplied by 2, that means 30. We will have only 30 here. We will have only 30 here. So that's the answer. That's the answer. So let me revise it again. Here we have 3, here you have 5, 15, and here we have 2, so 30. Yes, the correct answer. Now we will solve this one. Now we will solve example number 20. So what we have here, solve for x if 5x to the power 1 5x to 5 to the power x plus 1 plus 5 to the power x minus 1 is equal to 26. So we need to solve this one. So let us solve it. We can solve it in multiple different way. So let us solve it in one way first. First of all, we can write this 5 to the power x plus 1 as 5 to the power x into 5 to the power 1 plus, then again we can write it like 5 to the power x divided by 5 power 1, excuse me, is equal to 26. So this way we can write it. See, you pay attention, since we have a plus here, we can write it like this way. So that means 5 to the power x multiplied by 5 to the power 1, 5 to the power 1. So that means, since you can see that here also base 5, here also base 5, and if we are multiplying, then the powers are added together. That means x plus 1. So that means we will get this one back. And again this one, here also base 5, here also base 5. So but these two bases 5 are in division. So that means from the numerator's power, denominator's power will be deducted. So that means x minus 1. So that means it will be like this way. It will be same as it is. So we can write it like this. When there is a minus in the power, that means we can go for division like this. When there is a plus, we can go for multiplication like this. Okay, right. So now we can take 5 to the power x common, right? We can take 5 to the power x common. So if you take 5 to the power x common, then we have here 5, because 5 to the power 1, power 1, you don't need to write power 1, so you can just write 5, plus we have here we have already taken 5 to the power x common, so here we will have 1, and then here we will have 5 to the power 1. So as I said before, 5 to the power 1, that means power 1 you don't need to write, you can just have 5 there. So this one will be equal to 2. So now what we have? So now we can add these two. So that means now we have, if you take an LCM or Loshagu in Bengali, you will get what? You will get here 5 multiplied this 5, this 5 multiplied by this 5, we get here 25, we get here 25 plus 1, we get here 25 plus 1, and like this. Okay, so we get here 26. We get here 26 divided by 5, right? So now if we move this one that side on the right hand side, so under the rule of cross multiplication, what we will get? So if you move this one on the right hand side, under the rule of cross multiplication, 5 will go there. So how should we write it? We can write this. We can write it like this, because if I write dot as multiplication, then it will be, you may get confused that we have 2.5 here. So let me not write it that way. No, how should I? We can put a bracket there. Better. You can put a bracket there, right? So you can see this 5 will get cross multiplication with this 2. So that means 2 multiplied by 5, and then again this 26 will come in the denominator here. This 26 will come in the denominator here. Cross multiplication, RRE gunon. So this 26. So there is a 1 beneath this one. So there is a 1 below this one. So that means 26 will get multiplied by the 1 below this 1. So that means we will have this 26 in the denominator if you move it to the right hand side. Right. So now what we have, we get or twice here. Let me correct it. So excuse me. So what we have here, so here we have like 5 multiplied by 2 is 10 divided by 26. 5 multiplied by 2 is equal to what is that called? Is equal to 10 divided by 26. So we can write it like, so let me revise it again. This fine is okay, right, is fine, is fine. Oh my god, I made a mistake. That's what I was thinking. Here it was 26, here it was 26, here it was 26, right? I was wrong. Here it was 26, it was 26. So it was 26 here, 26. Here it was 26. So that means here we will have 26. So 26 multiplied by 5 divided by 26. So here we have, so that means this 26 and this 26 will cancel each other out. So this 26 and this 26 will cancel each other out. So we will have only 5 there. So we will have only 5 there, right? So we will have only 5 there. So now as you see, we have only 5 there. So that means there is no power, but actually there is a power. Power is 1, because when we have power 1, you don't have to write it. So but we have a power there. So now, so you can see on the left hand side also, you have base 5, and on the right hand side also you have base 5. So when you have something like that, the powers will be equal to each other. So x is equal to 1. X is equal to 1. So that means when you have base 5, when you have same base on the left hand side and right hand side, in such case powers are equal to each other. That means x is equal to 1. So this is the answer. So that means solution of this one is x is equal to 1. That's right. So okay, so now we will solve this one. Question number, example number 21. Here the question is asking us to find out the value of x and y if this one is equal to this one and this one. So we have two equations there. We need to solve and find the value of x and y. So let us solve it. First of all, so what we will do is we will use this one first. So always remember, if you want to find the value of x, then you need to replace all y, and then also if you want to find y, then you need to replace all x. So what we will do to find out the value of x first, we will replace all y's. So we will do it like this way. So we will move this 5y on the right hand side. We will move this one to right hand side. So if you move this one to right hand side, it will be like 5 to the power y, and if you move this 4 on left to, if you move this 4 to left hand side, then we will have like minus 4, right? So what we can see is 5 to the power y is equal to 3x minus 4. So 5 to the power y is equal to 3x minus 4. So we can see 5 to the power y is equal to 3 to the power x minus 4, right? So 5 to the power y is equal to 3 to the power x minus 4. Now we will use this equation. Okay, so now we have 9 to the power x. So we can write 9 to the power x as like 3. We can write, if you break down 9, we will have 3 to the power square, 3 to the power 3 square power x. So 9 to the power, if you replace 9, this 9 can be replaced by 3 square, and we have also power x, minus 5 to the power twice y can be written as like 5 to the power y, 5 to the power y, and then power 2, right? We can write it like that way. So 5 to the power twice y, 5 to the power twice y can be written it like 5 to the power y power 2 is equal to 56. Now as we can see, 5 to the power y is equal to 3 to the power x minus 4. So what we will do is, five to the power y can be written as 3 to the power x minus 4, 3 to the power x minus 4, 3 to the power x minus 4. It can be written as like that. So now what we have here, we have 3 to the power 2x, 3 to the power 2x, because we have a power inside the bracket and also we have a power outside the bracket. So these two power will get multiplied by each other. So we have 3 to the power twice x minus 3 to the power x bracket. Remember, this is a, we can write it like, we can consider it like a minus b whole square. We can consider it like a minus b whole square. So we can consider it like a minus b whole square. So a minus b whole square is the formula of a minus b whole square is a square minus 2ab plus b square. So we have, this is the a, this is the 3 to the power x is the a, so a square. So that means 3 to the power x square minus 2ab. So that means minus 2 multiplied by 3x multiplied by 3 to the power x. This is the a, this is the a, this is the a, and multiplied by b. B is 4. B is 4 plus 4 square. 4 square. That means b square. 4 square. Right? Is equal to 56. Right. So now what we have? Now what we have? This one, you can see we have a power outside and again we have a power inside. So these two power will get multiplied by each other. So we will have 2x, 3 to the power twice x. This one, from this one we get 3 to the power twice 2x minus 4, this 4 multiplied by these 2 is 8. Always remember, you cannot multiply this one, you cannot multiply with this one, you cannot just write it like this way. 2 multiplied by 3, you cannot do it, because this 3 is not a because this 3 is not an isolated number. This 3 is not an isolated number. So because this 3 because this 3 is the base of a power x, so this 3 is not an isolated number. So you cannot multiply, you can multiply 4 because this is an isolated number. You can multiply this 2 but not 3. So that means 4 multiplied by 2 is equal to 8. So 4 multiplied by 2 is equal to 8. So that means this 4 and this 2 can be multiplied. So 4 multiplied by 2 is 8, but we cannot multiply with this 3 because this 3 is not an isolated number, it has a power over it. So now this one, 4 square is 16. 4 square is 16, right? So now we have what? So this minus and this full, all these things is multiplied by minus. So that is excuse me, sign of sign of all these things will get changed. So that means we have minus 3 to the power x, and this one will become plus minus this minus multiplied by this minus will become minus a plus. And again this one minus a plus a minus, so this one will become minus, right? So okay, so now you can see what we will have. So these 3 to the power minus twice x will cancel out with this one. So that means these two will cancel each other out. So we are left with this one. We have this one. So now this 16 needs to be moved to right hand side. So minus 16 here, if you move to right hand side, we get plus 16. So if you move this minus 16 to right hand side, we got plus 16, right? (56) plus 16 is equal to 72. 72, right? Right. So now, as I said before, that x, we need to move everything else. We need to have only, we will have only x in the this side. Other than the x, we need to move everything on the right hand side. We need to move everything to the right hand side. So that means now we will move 8. This 8 is in multiplication. This 8 is in multiplication with 3 to the power x. So that means if you move this 8 to right hand side, it will be in the denominator. It will go into the denominator. So we will have only 3 to the power x here is equal to get a fraction, that means 72 divided by 8. So we will have 3 to the power x is equal to 72 divided by 8. So we will have 3 to the power x is equal to 72 divided by 8. That means we will have 9 here. So this 9 we can write it like 3 square. So we can write it like, so here we can write it like 3 square. We can write it like 3 square. So this 9 we can write it like 3 square. So as you can see, here on the left hand side base is 3, here on the right hand side also base is 3. So that means since the bases are same on the left hand side and also on the right hand side, so we will have only powers will be equal to each other. So that means we will have x is equal to 2. We will have x is equal to 2. So now we already got the value of x. Now we need to find the value of y. We need to find the value of y. So to find the value of y, you can put the value of x in either of this equation. You can put the value of x here, or you can put the value of x here also. So let us put the value of x here. So now we will use this one. So we have this equation, right? The value of x is 2. So we will have here the value of x is 2. Value of x is 2. Other than that, everything else can remain same. So 3 square. 3 square. We know that 3 square means 9. Write like 9. So now what we have. So if you move this one to the right hand side, if you move this one to the right hand side, this will be like this. And if you move this 4 to the left hand side, this will be like this. So that means if you move this 4 to the left hand side, it will become negative. So that means minus 4. And if you move this one to right hand side, this minus sign will become plus. So that means we will have like this. Sorry. So what we will have? So here we have 5, and on the right hand side we have 5 power y. Now you can see here we have only 5. We do not have any power here. Here we have only 5. We do not have any power here. But there is a power which is 1, right? So when there is no power, there is a power which is 1, because 1, the power 1 you don't need to write. That's why we don't write it. But there is a power which is 1. So now as you can see, here on the right hand side base is 5. Here on the left hand side is also base is 5. So y can be written as, so the value of y will be equal to 1. The value of y will be equal to 1. So we got the value of x. So the value of x and y can be written as like the value of x is 2 and value of y is 1. Value of y is 1. So this is the answer. This is the answer. The value of x is 2, the value of y is 1. So that's the solution of the problem. Alright. So now we will solve this one. Now we will solve this one. Okay. Right. Or we may just ignore it. I cannot solve all the problems. You will see the solution, the question example number 22. You see the solution. Solution is given. Solution is given and page number example 22. You can see the solution is given. Solution is given there. Example 22. The solution has been given here. You can see the solution yourself. You will understand. You will understand. Right? So example 22, I will skip it. You see the solution from the handout, and if you fail to understand, you can reach me. You can ask question to me. Right? So I will move to example number, sorry, I will move to example number 23. I will move to example number 23. So here the question is asking us to find out the value of x again. Right? Excuse me. So here we have this equation. So here you have these, we have this equation. So now as you can see, all the bases are 2. All the bases are 2. So we can write it like this way, because here this 2 to the power x plus 1 can be written as 2 to the power x multiplied by 2 to the power 1, because here in both case base is 2, this one is also base is 2, and in between we are doing multiplication. So that means that when we do multiplication and the bases are same, in that case powers can be added together. So that means here x plus 1, we will have x plus 1. So that means this 2 to the power x plus 1 we can break it like this way. We can break it like this way. Okay. Similarly, this one we can also break it. We can have 2 power square. We can have 2 power square similarly. Right. So now we can take, here also we have 2 to the power x. Here also we have 2 to the power x, and in this one also we have 2 to the power x. So we can take 2 to the power x common. So we can take 2 to the power x common. If we take 2 to the power x common, we will have 1 here, because we have only 1 2 to the power x. If we take 2 to the power x common, we will get 1, and here if we take 2 to the power x common, this one will be out. We will have only 2 to the power 1. We will have only 2 to the power 1. So power 1 we can just ignore it. So here also, if we have taken 2 to the power x common, so this one will be out. We have 2 square. So 2 square can be written as 4. Right. So we have this one. We got this one. So now we will move to like this. So 4 plus 2 plus 7. 4 plus 2 plus 7. We have 7. 4 plus 2 plus 1, we have 7. Right? So now, as I said before, you need to move all the, you can have only x here on the left hand side. So this time what we will do, we will move this 7 to the right hand side. So we have what? 2 to the power x is equal to 56 divided by 7. So if you move, this one is in multiplication, with multiplication on the left hand side. If you move it to right hand side, this one will go into the denominator, which is what we have is equal to, if you divide 56 by 7, we get 8. We get 8. So 2 to the power x is equal to 8. 8 means 2 power 3. So 2 to the power 8, we can, this 8 can be written as 2 power 2 cube, right? So as I said before, here also base 2, and on this one also, here also base 2. So we will have x is equal to, we will have x is equal to 3. Here we will have, so that means since the bases on left hand side and the base on right hand side is same, so powers are equal to each other. So that means x is equal to 3. So that's the solution of this problem, right? So question number 24. Question number 24. Please check the solution. Please check the solution. Solution is given there. Here solution is given. Solution has been given at page number 7. Page number 7. Solution has been given at page number 7. See here, example 24. Solution has been given there. If you fail to understand, you see me in my office. Sorry, if you fail to understand, you can knock me over. You can ask me over messenger group. You can mail me. You can chat me over Skype. Okay. Right, you can chat with me over Skype. Now we will move to question example 25. Example 25. So here the question is asking us to find out the value of x solving this equation. So here what we will do, this problem looks so complex, but it is not a complex. Always remember, looks may be deceptive. Looks may be deceptive. Okay, so it may look very complex, but you will see that this is not so complex. Okay, so first of all, we know that root over x means x to the power half. So root over x means x to the power half. So root over x means x to the power half, right? And here also root over x means, here also root over x means x to the power half. So here also root over x means x to the power half, right? Okay, so now as you can see, this power x is over all the materials inside the bracket. This power x is over all the materials inside the bracket. So what we can do, we can distribute this power to all the materials inside the bracket. So this one can be distributed to all the materials inside the bracket. So here also we will have x to the power x, and here also we will have power x. So that means we will have this power x is applicable to this x also. So that means x to the power x here, and this power x is over x to the power half also, right? Now here you can see, here we can see you have only x there. Here we have only x there. So that means no power. But as I said, no power doesn't mean that no power. No power means there is a power which is 1. There is a power which is 1. So now you pay attention. Here we have x to the power 1 and multiplied by x to the power half. And since we are doing multiplication, and bases are here also base x, and here also base x, here also base x. So since the bases are same and we are doing multiplication, what we can do, we have is the powers can be added together. So that means we can have something like this. Here we have x to the power 1 and here we have x to the power half, and since we are doing multiplication and bases are same, that's why the powers can be added together, 1 plus half. Right, so now what we have, since here there is a power inside the bracket and there is a power outside the bracket. So as I said before, the rule says that the power inside the bracket will get multiplied by power outside the bracket. So what we will have is, we will have x here, so that means half x, right? So half multiplied by x, that means half x. Here what we get, here 1 plus half is 3 by 2. 1 plus half, we can write it like 3 by 2. 1 plus half is 3 by 2. Right, okay, now what we have here base is x, here also base is x, and we are doing multiplication. See, when we do multiplication and bases are same, in that case power can be added together. So that means here power can be added together. So that means x plus. So that means I'm saying again, here also base x and here also base x, and we are doing multiplication, and here we are doing multiplication. So in that case, this power x need to be added, with half x, right? So now you pay attention, here on the left hand side base is x, on the right hand side also base is x, so these two base x can be removed. So that means powers will be equal to each other. So that means this one will be equal to this power. Okay, I'm saying again, this one here also base x, here also base x, and here base x. So that means these two x will be removed. We can remove these two x because bases are same on the left hand side and right hand side. So this power will be equal to this power. Okay, so now x plus 1 by 2x is equal to x. Here we will have twice x plus x, so plus x divided by 2, because this x will be multiplied by this 1, so that means we will have here we will have this x can be written here, right? So that means we can write the x here, right? And then 2 is the LCM, and if we add we get this 2 and x, that means twice x plus x. So that means equal to this one. So 2x plus 2, here we get here we get 3x by 2. 3x by 2. Here we get 3x by 2, right? Okay, so now you can see now what we do, right? Okay, we need to find the value of x. We need to find the value of x. Okay, so here we will bring all the x's on the same side. Here we need to bring all the x on the same side, right? So this 3 by 2, this 3 by 2 can be written as 3 divided by 2 means 1.5. 3 divided by 2 means 1.5, right? We can write it like that way. And now we will bring all the x on the same side. We will bring all the x on the same side. So you need to bring this x on the right hand side. You need to bring this x on the right hand side. So this one will be, this one will be, we can move it in the numerator, right? And this x, under the rule of cross multiplication, this one will move into the denominator. This one will move into the denominator. So that means these x under the rule of cross multiplication, this x will move into the denominator. That means these x will move into the upper part of this, lower part of this x will move into the lower part of this one. Okay, so like that way, right? Now this one, okay, here x is alone, no power is there. As I said before, no power is there doesn't mean that there is no power. So that means if there is a power, which is what? If there is no power, that means there is a power 1, right? So here also base x, here is base x, and here also base x. So when you have something like that, according to rule of exponent, we have x to the power 1.5 minus 1 because here we have base x and here also base x. So then we will have numerator's power, we will have denominator's power 1 deducted from 1 the numerator's power. So that means the denominator's power will be deducted from numerator's power. The denominator's power will be deducted from numerator's power. So 1.5 minus 1. So now what we have? So this 3 by 2 can be written as 1.5. Excuse me. This 3 by 2 can be written as 1.5, and this here we have 1.5 minus 1. 1.5 minus 1, this can be written as 0.5. This one can be written as 0.5, right? So now what we'll have? So this one, as I said, so this one we can write, sorry, we can write this one on the left hand side, and we can write this one on the right hand side. So now, so x, we have to leave only x on the left hand side. We have to leave only x, sorry, we have to leave only x on the left hand side. Other than x, everything else need to be moved on the right hand side. So on the right hand side we have 1.5, and if we move this power, to the right hand side, the rule says that power moves as power. Always power moves from one side to another side as power, but we will have a reverse of that power. We will have a reverse or inverse of that power. We will have a reverse or inverse of the power. So that means we will have 1 by 0.5. We had 0.05 here, 0.5 here. When we moved it, when we move it to right hand side, we will have the power 1 by 0.5. So 1 by 0.5 means 2. If you divide it in calculator, let me show you the calculator. Where is the calculator? Here is the calculator. If you see that 1 divided by 0.5, we get 2. So answer is 2. So 1 by 0.5, the answer is 2. So 1.5 square is what? So let's do the calculation again. So 1.5 square. So 1.5 square is equal to 2.25. So 2.25. So that means the value of x is 2.25. The value of x is 2.25. So that's the answer of this question. Right. Which problem we have solved now? Yeah, this one. So we have solved example number 25. We have solved example number 25 now. So now let us solve example 26, or maybe we will stop here. Yes, we will stop here. Today's discussion we will finish it here. We will study from example 26. We will study example 26 and onward in our next class. So in our next class we will study from example 26 and forward. Okay, so we will end up our class here. If you fail to understand any part of this lecture, please do not hesitate to ask me. Okay, so we'll end up here.